Good morning, everybody. It is Cowboy, and it is now 8:30 EST, and it is Friday. And let's see what we got here on the calendar. I don't believe we have any news. Oh, that's not true at all. We got average hourly earnings right now, non-farm employment change right now. So a lot of employment data coming out, and it appears that there is a bit of mixed data. Employment rate is higher than expected. Employment change for non-farm is actually higher than expected, which is conflicting data. Hourly earnings is a little bit lower than expected month over month. So the market is going to, I don't know, it's just kind of reacting. I can see it reacting. We'll take a look at it right now. Give me just a moment. Good morning, Mab Vet. Let's see here. I'm sure that'll add a little volatility to this morning's market. We're going to take a look at this on Forex after I expand this screen just a tad here. Yeah, see, there's your data right there at the bottom of the screen. All that data just now came out. So let's take a look at the Aussie dollar, just because that's a dollar denominated. Yeah, so let me expand this screen. You can see it a little bit better with all that gobbledygook. You can see that big candle right there. So this is the reaction to this morning's news. That is on the 30-minute candle. Just a big shake off, it seems. You see the big wick to the top and the big wick to the bottom right there. So basically what that's telling us is that a lot of people who might have gone long or short probably got knocked out of their trades, right? It's mixed data. So look, I don't talk to the bankers or anything like that. I don't know what I'm about to say is true, although I'm pretty sure it's true because it's almost kind of accepted. But the large players, especially these big banks and stuff, they used these they use these economic events to kind of push price around and knock people out of their trades. It's almost like, because they're not allowed to do that. I mean, that's not legal for them to do. But if there's a big announcement, it's like, oh, it wasn't us, it was the economic data. You just knock people out of their trades. But again, that's just I'm not saying that's true for sure. The gorilla might say it, but gorilla, sir, do you talk to the president of the world? Do you know what's going on?
I do. In fact, I started talking to the president of the world since the Tom and Jerry episode where he talked to the president of Hollywood. And if you know who the president of Hollywood is, that is the president of the world, my friend. It's as simple as that.
It sounds like the president of the father.
But I had to go to Bohemian Grove, and I had to let a bunch of geriatric men have their way with me, and then I learned everything that I needed to know.
Sounds like it.
Because that's how we do it in the West.
Yeah.
That's how we do it in the West. It's all about that. Yeah.
You came away from Bohemian Grove smelling like Geritol and Viagra.
No. Smelling like Ben Gay.
There you go.
Like
put the gay in Ben Gay.
Yeah, absolutely. Man. That's what they do in the Bohemian Grove, man. They put the gay in Ben Gay.
It's so funny, Alex Jones, they gave him such crap, right?
Well, you know what happened with the boxer Ryan Garcia? Did you hear what he had to say?
Yeah, and now he's been silenced. He showed up on you go ahead and tell everybody what's going on with that.
Well, I haven't seen the interview, but from what I've heard, did you see the interview? Because I haven't yet.
Nah, bro, I don't. I don't follow it. I look at charts most of the day. I mean, it's just this one was so big it came across my radar because I couldn't avoid it.
You like big charts, I know.
Yeah, big fat charts.
Yeah, but what I heard is this: Ryan Garcia said that he was taken as a child to Bohemian Grove, where they tied him up to a tree and made him watch things that they did to small children, something along those lines.
Yeah,
unspeakable
I think
things.
He was one of the small children.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I mean, it's like
think about how fucking like weak and pathetic leadership is if that's what they got to do. Like think about how dumb that shit is, right? Like if you go back to ancient human history, right? It is the barbarian, it is the most powerful man. Who you have. This is what happens when you have weak, servile men in charge in the levers of power. It is a dangerous thing to be led by weak men, and this is what happens.
I'm looking for. He posted a video. I don't know if I'm on his Twitter, just kind of searching right now. But after all this stuff of him talking about this, he came out and was like, "Oh no, that none of that." Or he didn't say none of it happened. He just said the only thing I'm going to talk about from here on out is going to be boxing. Like, and he was wearing some weird crown, like a crown of wheat.
Interesting.
Really, yeah. I'm trying to find it. Let me see if I can search Ryan Garcia. And it was I found it last night. It'll be around here. Yeah, see, here's all the stuff about Bohemian Grove. Here it is. Let me bring it up on the screen. Not that this has a ton to do with markets, but this is definitely some weird business right here. Just don't know what to believe anymore. Is this guy having a mental breakdown, and did he watch too many episodes of Alex Jones? And or did this stuff really happen to him?
Who knows? Anything's
Oh,
possible at this stage of the game, right?
I know if it was a Me Too thing, and if it was like, that we have to believe all women, but this guy's not a woman, so we don't have to believe him, right? But you see this is the conversation here. You see what he's wearing? Oh, are we sure? Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah, I see
You see the wreath around his neck?
yeah.
Like this is him saying, "Oh, I'm only going to talk about like boxing and, that's it." Basically, like I'm not going to talk about this stuff anymore. And he's wearing this wreath around his head that looks like some weird Greek thing. So of course, you got people saying, "Oh, there's, it's fake, it's AI filter." I don't know, whatever. All the weird conspiracies are going to fly around, and people are going to just talk about aliens or whatever. But this happened, like where you see that wreath around his head. Like, the hell is that all about, dude?
I don't know.
Weird. I don't know, bro. That's why I just look at charts, dude. It's freaking like it's it's the end of the world as we know it. Like they say in the REM song.
There's the world as we know it. I'm ready for the asteroid. How about you?
Yeah, I put the ass in asteroid, bro.
Yeah, because these queers in that control the West, they'll put the ass in asteroid.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
honestly, nobody's butthole is safe, man.
No, dude, it's not at all ever. We're gonna get canceled.
It's like Cat Williams says. When I got to Hollywood, my goal was to protect my butthole.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a great interview. Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp, and then Cat Williams and Joe Rogan, which I didn't get a chance to see all of it, but
I just anymore with Joe Rogan, it's like, dude, I think he's been co-opted, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're all nothing's real anymore. It's fucking everything's fake. The only thing that's real is what happens in the effing charts, man. Like everything else is like, yeah, question it. The charts are the charts. Like that's it.
Charts are the charts.
The only thing that runs less on narratives than how Velas talks about the insurance business. Like you can kind of depend on the insurance business to not run on narratives because they don't make money on narratives.
No, they don't. They don't.
I was in that business. Like I grew up in that business. Like the only thing they make money on is reality. Like how weed was illegal for so long. Well, the insurance companies didn't care. They just gave you a smoker's rate. That's all. They didn't care if you smoke weed. It wasn't a problem to them. They knew. They had the actuarial tables. They understood, like, okay, people who smoke weed, it's not
so it wasn't like Jeff Sessions and Reefer Madness.
No, nothing like that. Insurance companies, in a conservative era, insurance companies, they wouldn't deny you life insurance because you smoked weed. They would just give you a smoker's rate. That's all.
Yeah.
So, but that's just an example. You would think insurance companies would be conservative, but what insurance companies do is they make money. And so the only thing they can make money on is reality because that's just, the nature of the game. The charts are pretty realistic. I mean, obviously like narratives are going to push charts around. So for example, like this big kind of nasty candle that we're seeing right now, let me roll to a lower time frame. Now I'm only looking at the AUD USD because it's USD denominated, if you will. So we can see the price action coming from the announcement. And the data that came out, as I was saying earlier, was kind of like mixed data, employment good, employment bad. So long story short, what it seems to me is that money is continuing in the direction it would have gone, but then there was a massive shakeout. And this is why I don't mess around with news. Like I said earlier, when you talk to the president of the world, like, it's like, okay, if price was supposed to go up anyway, then why is all this craziness going on with that candle? Why is this one candle wicking everywhere? Well, that's because, like, again, I don't know this to be true for sure, but I'm like, I literally bet on it. The banks are taking people out of their trades, right? Whoever the big players are, whether it's banks, whether it's sovereign funds, I don't know, but they're taking people out of their trades. So people who went short got knocked out of their trades, and then maybe people panicked in and went long, and they got knocked out of their trades. Like, that's what that's about. So that's why I don't mess around with news. But now it does seem that the market is bullish or I should say bearish USD, and the dollar's been pretty weak like for a while. And I can tell you right now, it's definitely dollar weakness right now. Like and a lot of it, I think it's just technical. I don't. Oh, it's the rates are gonna, Powell's gonna say this or whatever. I mean, I've been watching this chart for a long time. Let me roll over to the Dixie real quick, and we're gonna look at Bitcoin. We're looking at Bitcoin. In fact, let's look at Bitcoin really quick. Nothing new. All right, so Bitcoin's just consolidating. I drew this yesterday. It's doing pretty much what I said it would do. I think Bitcoin is going to consolidate below all-time high. It might dip down and grab some liquidity, possibly. We'll take a look to see if there's any new liquidity. Let's do that really quick, and then we'll roll over to the Dixie just so we can kind of see how the dollar is acting compared to its, sovereign currency brethren. Let's go get a map here. Little Jeopardy theme while the map loads. And again, if you're not if you don't know about the Kingfisher, like, you can get free credits for this, and it shows you liquidity profile, and the liquidity is still pretty much where I've got it, 63.7 to 64.7. So right now it's pretty much where I've got it mapped out. It hasn't really changed since yesterday, and that's a lot of liquidity, and that liquidity is close by. But in order for in order for Bitcoin to go down and grab this liquidity, the charts do have to favor a move down, and everything I'm seeing in the algos is just hyper bullish right now. So I really, it may grab it. I think if it did reach down to grab that liquidity, it would be a fast thing. I think it would just reach down, grab it, and pop back up. But Bitcoin's hyper bullish. I expect more up.
What's BTC at right now, man?
It's at 90,002.
Shut up.
No, I'm kidding, dude. It's at 67,600.
Got it. Man.
Did you cream your pants there for a second?
No, I knew you were jerking me.
Well, then you should have creamed your pants.
Yeah,
it's getting gross, bro. It's getting gross. But yeah, you can see here, like with Bitcoin, actually, the lows are getting higher. I mean, this is definitely kind of this consolidation that I drew seems to be kind of holding, but really, if you just look at the price pattern, things seem to be getting a little bit higher here. So the lows are getting higher, the highs are maintaining or getting higher. So
lows are getting higher.
I mean,
this is getting higher.
Yeah, this is a pretty bullish, like almost triangular formation. In fact, we could apply some metrics to this.
Dude, Bitcoin is for Lamborghinis, bro.
Yeah, Lambos, dude.
Bitcoin is for Lamborghinis.
Well, you told everybody like 6 months ago about it, so
that Pepe gamble is paying off big for me, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then you told everybody here, if anybody here didn't get into that, they didn't, first of all, they're not supposed to do things based on what you say, but they did have the opportunity to do their own research on it.
Right.
So, but again, I have look, this little triangle right here, this formation, this is a legit rising bullish triangle, bullish ascending triangle, if you will. And for this to continue upward, those targets are going to be like just below ATH for the 272 extension, and the most likely target, the golden ratio targets at 69,500. It would take us to a legit new all-time high. I know technically on Tuesday we saw all-time high on some exchanges, but I'm not getting excited about that. I want to see it break and stay above for several days and go, yeah, right. That's when I'll be like, cool, we're moving on. But just a rejection off the all-time high to me is like whatever, right? So, but yeah, I'd say if we can get to like 69,000, say 550, whatever that number is, and we can hang there for like, a day or two, then I'm going to think, okay, this is like, we're going up. But I think that there's a decent chance that if price does break above that, there might not be a whole lot of time where price hangs anywhere. Like, it may just simply rocket right up to this 72,000. And then, of course, once we get up to this, sort of 72, which is a different Fibonacci level that I drew from a higher time frame extension, this 72,000 that comes from a Fibonacci extension. And if we get to that, then how price behaves around 73,000 is going to tell us a fair amount about this, like the next, I'd say, several weeks of Bitcoin. So, so that's Bitcoin. I know everybody wants to see Bitcoin, and that's good. I want to
see Solana.
Solana, okay, Solana. So USD. Well, you get to see a winning trade that we took. Oops, wrong chart. SOL USDT. The trade that we took live, I think in the private group. I think we took this live in the private group. So that trade's definitely in profit and bullish, right? So we got the breakout from a pretty long consolidation. They had this wild price action because of Bitcoin doing its thing. But for the most part, this consolidation held, aside from this deviation from Bitcoin madness. And now price has moved up. And I got a target. I think it's based on Fib extension based 171. And I always look back at structure to make sure there's no structure in the way for that. So, the RRR is not what it was when I showed this to the private group. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the private group did similar research and may be in a trade that looks a lot like this. So now this is being given away. And as of now, this trade is going to be a 1.5 to 1. So for anybody who decides to do research and take a similar trade because their own research told them to, it's still way better than 1 to 1. So that is a freebie of research information out there for you in YouTube land. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like it. We got a lot of people watching right now, and we don't got a lot of lights.
Please.
Let's see what we got here. We got some comments. I haven't looked at that in a minute. Freak Mills, Cheek Fills. We got March. Good morning. Oh, yeah. The cool cat called it, dude. What? Buck breaking. Yep.
What's buck breaking?
I don't need. We shouldn't talk about that on here. Like, we'll wait to the private group. That's going to get us.
It sounds like Brokeback Mountain to me.
It's not too terribly different. It goes back to slavery. It says more than dumb. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're just looking at some old comments here. Yeah, we'll talk about buck breaking in the private. You just go Google it, dude. It's just a way that people used to be, humans were treated as less than human back in those days. It's fucked up. And they're still being treated that way around the world. It's just no one wants to talk about it. So we got Solana. Yeah, I would expect, again, I see Solana going to 170. Now, of course, this is going to rely on Bitcoin being strong. But if I were not in Solana, let me see what this looks like. Yeah, this right here. Solana. I think
you gotta say it like a Mexican.
Come on, get some Solana.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Buy some Solana.
Get some Solana.
Some pinche Solana. What I'm gonna do, and I have to look at the entire picture here, but once I get some good height out of this and it breaks above this resistance, there's a decent chance I'll throw a stop either to entry or at least take stops up and take some risk off. Because once this is usually, and this is just a clue in like to the whole world, what I do here, if you have a resistance, right, and you're in a bullish trade and you're confident in that trade, right, or I'm confident in that trade, if price breaks a new resistance that was created during that trade and everything does look bullish according to my algos, then I will move my stop up typically to entry or at least underneath a decent support to take off some risk. And that way, if like for example, with that Ethereum trade that happened, I still won that trade and I had the stop to entry. It's probably not going to show anymore because I think we've erased all that stuff. But I had a great trade going. And I mean, it was really good. And then what you'll see is this big move down, this large move down on Ethereum right here. Fortunately, okay, so I can kind of recreate this for education purposes. It won't be the exact trade, but it was something like this, right? And then I had my targets that were up higher. I never made it up to target, right? But then you had this, Bitcoin kind of hit hard. And then what happened was Ethereum I had already had my stop up to entry. So just in case there was a nasty move down, I would not have lost, right? Like Ethereum kept going up and then it broke its own resistance that it created, right? And I did wait a little bit longer on this one, but it created a resistance and then broke it. And once it broke it, I moved my stop all the way to entry. No more risk, all gone, right? That means if price came down, I would have gotten out of the trade with no loss. In fact, I tend to put it just a hair above entry to cover my fees too. So what ended up happening though is that price came down because of that nasty Bitcoin wick, right? And then it came back up like this. And now here's the way I roll. If I'm in a trade and the reason for me being in that trade, the technical reasons for me being in that trade no longer exist, then I'm out of the trade. Fortunately, this came up and gave me some nice profit, and I was actually better than a 1-to-1, and I exited, right? And then of course, as you can see, price went down, and had I not exited, I would have been exited, but I would have just simply lost nothing, right? So that's how I do things, and Solana is getting near to that time. What do we want to see? AVAX, gold, what?
Chainlink.
Yeah, I got a nice bag of link. I think my fundamentals guy is like just
my fundamentals, man. My fundamentals.
Yeah, my fundies guy. He's a good long-term investor. He likes Chainlink. He thinks it's going to do really well. Whatever this trade is, I'm not in it. But this, let me zoom out to take a look at the wider picture here. Chainlink is one of the few cryptos that has kind of like an application already, more or less. It's an oracle and it's a cross-chain oracle. So basically it gathers data from chains, and that's huge. That's like massive. So I mean, geez, dude, it's been around for a while too. Like I know one of March's buddies, March, you remember when David got into Chainlink like super cheap? Like that was probably his biggest win to date. I don't want to say his last name, but March knows what I'm talking about. This is back before I knew March. But I heard the story from David himself. But long story short, Link is developing a new consolidation, kind of like I mapped out here. So it does seem to be hanging out in this range, which is basically between 2080 and 1795. So that's the range for Link right now. Okay, now I do have some targets based on Fibonacci here, as you can see. Nice target at 2248. That's a short-term target. So now this is on the daily that you're looking at. This is a high time frame. This is going back to like last year. So what I would do with this would be to play the range until it's no longer in the range. I don't like to short in a bull market. So if price does make its way up here, normally I would short, but in the bull, it's just so dangerous. I would look for price to come down if it made it down that far, and then go long at the bottom of that, right? Or the other option would be on a lower time frame to wait for price to pop out of this and then long it up to 2250. And that would look something like this as soon as my computer catches up. I feel better, bro. I get up at like 4 my time, which is 6 EST, and I was dead, bro, just dead. But I feel a lot better now.
What got you going? Was it the
2 cups of coffee?
Hot enemas, right?
Hot coffee enema, yeah, that's it. If the
best part of waking up, man.
Yes, is coffee.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your butt.
Yeah, there you go, dude. Folgers. God, dude, that's gnarly. But if price did break above the top of this consolidation, I probably would look for a pullback. I don't think I would enter willy-nilly. I'd look for my algos to tell me I could go, and then I would long it up to this. And this is on a 30-minute chart. Like, this is a pretty decent time frame for such a long. But as the whole market is bullish right now, I'm just not into shorting crypto. I did short. I mean, I've been winning shorts. Don't get me wrong. Like I scalp shorts, but I scalp them. Like I'm very, very careful with shorts right now.
Sounds gay.
It does. Sounds gay, but it's not. But gay is good now. So it's like if you're gay, you're cool. So whatever.
Oh, that's right.
Gay's good now. But this is like a kind of trade I would take. But I'm not saying the price is gonna do this. It's just super hypothetical. But that's Chainlink, and I do see it going to 2250, like 2248. That's my next like stop off. Let me go super high time frame on Link to do like your, like what if I am holding. I have a buy and hold bag, and let's see. Okay, so higher time frame resistance, you got 2868. Just we're looking at structure from the last bull, actually the end of the last bull, and there is, I think price will be attracted to this range, this old range that was kind of built more or less. I think price will be attracted to this range right here. It's not there yet, but I think once price gets into this area, it may bounce around a bit between like say 23.3 and 35.8. So I think that may happen. Like this resistance at 38.35 might be front ran because all this old structure right there. But once price breaks up above 38.35, then of course your all-time high is going to be at 53, and I do think Link will break 53, and I think Link will break 53 spectacularly. I think we're going to see Chainlink, because I think there's a lot going on with that coin, and right now look at this price action. It's just mobbing up like hard. It's just doing bull flag after bull flag. So I do expect to see what I just showed you. 2250 being the near target. So that's Link. We are at the end of the private show, sir. Would you like to go ahead, give us that gorilla send off?
Absolutely. Listen, guys, don't be a racist. Join us in the live lab, the private lab. Join Algo Factory, where we not only teach you how to trade, but we teach you how to construct the algorithms that trade on your behalf 24/7, 365 in any market, anywhere in the world. You don't have to know about math. You don't have to be a math whiz. Don't let the word trading intimidate you. There's nothing intimidating about it. We're going to show you guys exactly how to get it done. And we're the only place where you get the micro and the macro. You get the, what's the word I'm looking for? You get the technicals and the fundamentals and the forecasts. Like nobody's business, like nowhere else. AlgoFactory.tech. Scan that QR code, click the link in the description box, and join us or die.
Join us or die.
It's just that simple.